Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Podcast Hub. I'm Jake, and as always, I've got Emily here with me.
Hi, Jake. Hi, listeners. It feels so good to be back.
Yeah, and before we get started, we just want to say a big thank you. The support we've been getting from all over the world has been amazing.
Absolutely. We read your comments, your messages, and your stories. Knowing that this podcast is helping you really inspires us to keep going.
And a special shout out to those of you who share our episodes with your friends or post them on social media. You're helping more people improve their English just by spreading the word.
That's right. You're part of the English Podcast Hub family, and we honestly couldn't do this without you.
So let's keep the good vibes rolling. Today we've got something really useful lined up. We're talking about why listening skills matter and how you can improve them step by step.
Yes. Listening is such an important part of language learning, but it doesn't always get the attention it deserves. So, in this episode, we'll break down why it's key, and we'll share some simple tips you can start using right away. So, Jake, let's kick things off. Why do you think listening is such a big deal when learning English?
Good question. Honestly, listening is the foundation of language learning. Think about it. When you were a baby, the first thing you did wasn't speaking, it was listening. You learned the sounds, the rhythm, the words, just by hearing people around you.
Exactly. And it's the same with English. The more you listen, the more you start to understand how words are pronounced, how sentences are put together, and even the natural flow of the language.
Right. And what's cool is that listening doesn't just improve listening, it also helps with speaking, reading, and even writing. It's like the base of the whole pyramid.
Yes. Plus, in real life, you're always listening. Whether you're at work, hanging out with friends, or just watching TV and movies, that's why strong listening skills are so important.
And here's something I love. You don't have to understand every single word to get the message. Sometimes it's about catching the context, the key ideas, and that's enough to follow along.
Exactly. That's the real skill. Being able to understand the bigger picture, even if a few details slip by. And over time, the more you practice, the more confident you'll feel.
Couldn't agree more. And that's why in today's episode, we'll share some simple but powerful ways to build up your listening step by step. You know, Emily, a lot of learners tell me they listen to English every day but still don't feel like they're improving. Oh.
Yeah, and I think that's because there's a big difference between hearing and listening.
Exactly. Hearing is passive. You just let the sounds wash over you, but listening is active. It's when you focus, try to understand the meaning, and actually remember what was said.
Right. When I was learning Spanish, I had to train myself to really listen. Otherwise, the words would just fly by and nothing stuck.
I had the same experience with French. At first, I thought I was listening, but really I was only hearing. Once I started paying attention to context and key ideas, things clicked.
And that's the key. Active listening makes a huge difference. It helps you follow conversations, respond more naturally, and connect better with people.
Yeah, whether it's at work, in class, or just chatting with friends, being a good listener is always a win.
Totally. And the best part? Active listening is a skill you can practice and get better at, just like anything else. So, Jake, let's be real. Listening isn't always easy. Learners face a lot of challenges, right?
Oh, for sure. I'd say one of the biggest ones is speed. Native speakers talk fast, sometimes so fast it feels like the words are just blurring together.
Yes, and on top of that, accents can be tough too. American, British, Australian. Even within the same country, people sound so different.
Exactly. I remember the first time I heard a strong Scottish accent. I was like, wait, is that even English? Laughs.
Oh, I know the feeling. And then you've got slang and idioms. Native speakers love throwing in phrases that don't make sense if you translate them word for word.
Yeah, like, it's raining cats and dogs. If you take that literally, it sounds crazy.
Totally. And don't forget background noise. Imagine trying to understand English in a busy cafe or train station. It's a whole new challenge.
But here's the good news, these challenges are normal, and with practice, they get easier. The more you expose yourself to different voices, speeds, and situations, the more your brain adjusts.
Exactly. So if you're struggling, don't feel discouraged. It just means you're learning, and we're here to share some practical tips to help you push through those tricky moments.
All right, Emily, we've talked about the challenges. Now let's share some solutions. What's a good first step for learners who want to improve their listening?
I'd say start simple. Choose audio that's slower and clearer, like podcasts or audiobooks made for English learners. It builds confidence before you move on to faster conversations.
Yeah, I love that. And YouTube has tons of channels where people speak slowly and clearly, so you can follow along without feeling lost.
Another great tip, use subtitles. Watch a movie or a show with English subtitles, then over time, challenge yourself to watch without them.
Totally. And here's something I do, rewatch or re listen. The first time, you'll miss things, but the second or third time, you'll notice new detail you didn't catch before.
That's so true. And remember, you don't need to understand every single word. Focus on the key words, the ones that give you the overall idea of what's being said.
Exactly. If you get the main message, you're already winning. Step by step, your brain fills in the gaps.
And that's what we want to show you today. Listening doesn't have to be stressful. With small, consistent steps, you'll improve more than you think. So, Jake, we've shared some tips, but let's talk about resources. What's your go to for practicing listening?
For me, it's definitely podcast. There are so many good ones designed for learners. The speakers usually talk slower and more clearly, so it's perfect if you're just starting out.
Yes. And the best part is you can listen anywhere on your way to work, while cooking, or even when you're just relaxing.
Exactly. Another great option is audiobooks. The narrators usually speak clearly, and you can follow the story step by step. Start with beginner friendly books, then move on to more advanced ones as you grow.
I love that. And for anyone who enjoys entertainment, TV shows and movies in English are super helpful. Start with something simple, maybe a sitcom with short dialogues. Then, as you get better, try more complex series or films.
And don't forget subtitles. They're a great tool at first, but over time, try turning them off so your ears get used to catching the words on their own.
Exactly. Whether it's podcasts, audiobooks, or movies, the key is to make listening a daily habit. The more you expose yourself to English, the faster you'll improve.
So, Emily, we've talked about resources, but just listening isn't enough. You've got to practice actively. What are some exercises learners can try?
One of my favorites is the shadowing technique. You listen to a speaker and then immediately try to repeat what they say, almost like you're their echo.
Yeah, I've done that too. It feels a little funny at first, but it really helps with rhythm, pronunciation, and fluency.
Exactly. And you don't have to be perfect. The point is to train your ear and get used to the natural flow of English.
Another great one is dictation. Play a short audio clip, pause it, and write down what you hear. It's a great way to sharpen your attention to detail.
Yes, and once you finish, check your writing with the transcript if you have one. You'll spot the little things you missed, and that's how you improve.
And here's a simple but powerful one summarizing. After you listen to a podcast or watch a video, try to explain the main idea in your own words.
That's such a good habit. It not only tests your listening, but also builds your speaking confidence at the same time.
Exactly. These exercises turn passive listening into active learning, and that's where the real progress happens.
So, Jake, there's one more challenge we should talk about: accents. For a lot of learners, different English accents can feel overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, English isn't just one accent. You've got American, British, Australian, Canadian, and even within those countries, people sound so different.
Right. A London accent doesn't sound the same as a Scottish one, and sometimes even native speakers struggle to understand each other's accents. Laughs.
That's so true. But here's the good news: the more you listen, the easier it gets. Your ears start adjusting to the rhythm and the unique sounds of each accent.
Exactly. And it's important, especially if you're planning to travel, study abroad, or work in an international environment. You'll meet people from all over the world.
One fun way to practice is by watching interviews or YouTube videos with people from different places, or even switching between news channels like BBC, CNN, or ABC Australia.
Yes, at first it might feel tough, but don't get frustrated. Each accent has its own charm. Just keep exposing yourself little by little, and your brain will adjust.
And in the end, it's not about understanding every single word, it's about getting the message, and accents become much less scary once you realize that.
So, Jake, one thing we should point out is that listening doesn't stand alone. It's closely connected with speaking.
Exactly. The two really go hand in hand. The more you listen, the better you'll speak because you are picking up pronunciation, rhythm, and natural expressions.
Right. And one of the best ways to improve both at the same time is through conversation. If you have a language partner or a tutor, practice listening carefully and then responding.
Yeah, and even if you don't have a partner, you can still practice. Just mimic what native speakers say, copy the phrases, the tone, the flow.
I do that with TV shows all the time. I'll hear a line, pause, and repeat it out loud. It feels a little silly, but it makes my speech sound more natural.
Totally. It's like training your mouth and ears together. And honestly, the more you do it, the more confident you become in real conversations.
Exactly. Listening feeds your speaking, and speaking reinforces your listening. That's why practicing both together is such a powerful combo.
Yeah, totally. And that's where mindset really matters. If you expect to understand everything right away, you'll just end up frustrated.
Jake, I think it's also important to remind our listeners that improving listening takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Exactly. Feeling confused sometimes is normal. It's part of the process. What matters is being consistent and patient with yourself.
And I'd add this: celebrate the small wins. Maybe today you understood a new word, or you caught a phrase that used to go over your head. Those little moments are big progress.
Yes, every step counts. If you only focus on how far you still have to go, you'll feel stuck. But if you notice the progress you've already made, you'll stay motivated.
And honestly, motivation is half the battle. The more positive you feel about your learning, the easier it becomes to keep going.
So true. So, to everyone listening, don't be too hard on yourself. Stay patient, keep showing up, and trust that improvement will come.
So, Emily, we've shared tips, exercises, and even talked about mindset. But let's be honest, the real test of listening happens in real life, right?
Oh, absolutely. Real life listening is where everything comes together. You're in a conversation, and you don't have the luxury of pausing or replaying. You have to focus and respond quickly.
Yeah, and that can feel scary at first, but the more you practice, the easier it gets. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes.
Exactly. And here's something important: it's okay to ask for clarification. If you don't understand, just say, "Sorry, could you repeat that?" Or, "What does that mean?"
Yes, asking questions actually shows you're engaged, and most people are happy to explain or slow down if they know you're learning.
And don't shy away from real world practice. Listen to podcasts, radio, or just chat with friends. The more you step out of your comfort zone, the faster your listening will grow.
Totally. At the end of the day, real life listening is challenging, but it's also the most rewarding. That's where you realize how much progress you've truly made. All right, before we wrap up today's episode, we've got something extra helpful for you.
Yes, it's time for our vocabulary spotlight, where we go over some key words and phrases from today's conversation.
And of course, our amazing teammate Charlotte is here to guide you through it. Charlotte, take it away.
Thanks, Jake and Emily. Hi, everyone. Let's review a few useful words and expressions you heard today. I'll explain them and give you simple examples so you can start using them right away. First up, conversation. It means a spoken exchange between two or more people. Example: we had a nice conversation about our weekend plans. Second, context. That's the situation or background that helps you understand something better. Example: you can guess the meaning of a word by looking at the context of the sentence. Next, confidence. That's the feeling of being sure about yourself or your abilities. Example: she spoke with confidence during the meeting.
I like that one. Confidence is such a big deal in language learning.
Exactly. Another useful phrase is get the gist. It means to understand the main idea, even if you don't catch every word. Example: I didn't catch every detail, but I got the gist of what he was saying. And here's one more: step out of your comfort zone. It means to try something new or challenging. Example: you need to step out of your comfort zone to improve your English skills.
Those are super practical. Thanks, Charlotte.
Yes, that was so helpful. Listeners, try using these words and phrases in your own conversations. It's the best way to make them stick.
Exactly. The more you practice, the more natural they'll feel. Back to you, Jake and Emily.
Wow, we covered a lot today, from why listening matters to the common challenges, practical tips, and even some new vocabulary.
Yes, and remember, listening is the foundation of learning English. It takes time, but with patience and consistent practice, you'll get better step by step.
Don't forget, we've prepared a free PDF with all the key points from today's episode. You can find the link in the description below. It's perfect for review and practice.
And as always, celebrate the small wins. Maybe today you learned a new phrase or understood something you couldn't before. That's progress and it's worth noticing.
Absolutely. So keep practicing, stay motivated, and keep moving forward with your English journey. Wayan Alchep.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We love being part of your learning journey, and we can't wait to hear about your progress.
Until next time, keep listening, keep speaking, and keep growing.
See you in the next episode of the English Podcast Hub. Happy learning, everyone!